Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Virtual Sightseer. This is where I take you around the globe in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The goal here is to use the sim to show you beautiful places from around the world from the comforts of your own home. As a friendly reminder, I'm no professional, this isn't a tutorial, and it's all just for fun. My hope is that as the channel gets bigger, subscribers and viewers will request cool places for new flights. So let's get into the sim and find out where we're flying on this episode. Alright, so today we are going to be back in the MH60 Tango variant by Miltech and Blackbird Simulation. By request, we'll be in Tokyo this week. So appropriately, we will be using the fictional Japanese Coast Guard livery. So we'll jump outside here and have a look at that real quick. Let's get rid of these markers. Alright, cool, we'll jump back in here. So admittedly, I know very little about Tokyo, but what I did notice during a few discovery flights is that it's very large and it has a ton of points of interest. So what I think I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off from Tokyo International Airport here, we'll loop the city, and then we're going to head toward Mount Fuji. So we'll just jump out real quick. I'll turn these markers back on. You guys can see how many points of interest there are. So that's looking behind us toward the city. Tons of helipads. Alright, so we'll go ahead and turn those off. Let's get back into the cockpit here. Let's go ahead and get our co-pilot in with us. We will check our parking brake. Go ahead and flip our monitors. There we go. Alright. Let's go flying. So this might be a little bit longer of a flight. Again, I'm going to try and put the chapter markers in. And if it's too long, I might add some cuts. We'll see. I will share a few facts. And then I'll go ahead and be quiet so that we can focus on scenery in the flight. Pick up a little bit of altitude here. Make sure our autopilot is active. Okay. Alright, so Tokyo is Japan's capital, and it is the most populated city in Japan. In 2023, the population was over 14 million. Tokyo measures about 56 miles east to west and about 16 miles north to south. During my research, I did find it fascinating that Tokyo actually sits near the boundary of 3 tectonic plates, which makes it very active for earthquakes. Go ahead and nose down here to gain a little bit of speed. It looks like we're under 1,000 feet, so we'll have to be careful here. I think we'll fly out to this tower, we'll loop around that. As we get closer, we should be able to get a name for it. Turn off our autopilot here. Acknowledge our master caution. We're just going to try and gain a little bit more altitude. And then as we approach Mount Fuji, I will have some facts about Mount Fuji as well. And we will loop around that, and then we'll come in for a landing just outside of the mountain. Just couldn't believe how big Tokyo actually is. Let's see if we can get a name on this. It doesn't look like it's going to give me a name for this. If you know what building this is, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Let's go ahead and turn those back off. They can be a little distracting. Get a nice smooth turn here. I input a very basic flight path just to kind of get us from point A to point B. So we'll go ahead and pull up our EFB here, and I'll show you guys real quick. So it's just basically a straight line to our destination airport. So that's what we're going to try and pick back up here. Type of arena right there, that's pretty cool. Oh, there's an amusement park, or a roller coaster outside of it, that's cool. Go ahead and recenter on our aircraft here. There we go. Gives you a good indication of where our flight path is. Got quite a few skyscrapers. Look like a pretty cool building off to our left here. Jump back in, make sure we're not going to hit anything. So that would not be good. Alright, we will nose down, pick up some speed. And I think it's time to head out west toward Mount Fuji. So Mount Fuji sits about 62 miles west-southwest of Tokyo. So on average, that's about approximately 20-minute flight. So I'll probably throw in a cut. I think we started to get a little bit of overspeed there. Alright guys, I am going to go ahead and throw in a cut here just to save you guys some time, and I will see you when we get closer to Mount Fuji. Okay you guys, welcome back. As you can see, we have made it to Mount Fuji. So the airport that we're going to be landing at is actually right here on our left. But we're going to go ahead and loop Mount Fuji real quick. Let's go ahead and turn our autopilot off, gain some altitude. So Mount Fuji is an active stratovolcano. So that is opposed to a shield volcano. The main difference being that the stratovolcano has a steep profile with a summit crater and explosive eruptions. It has a summit elevation of 12,389 feet, and it is Japan's highest mountain. Its last known eruption was from 1707 to 1708. Mount Fuji's crater is 2,560 feet in diameter, and it is 790 feet deep. We're still gaining altitude. I don't know if we'll get enough to go ahead and get over it. We are full power. We're about 4,500 feet. You can see where the tree line ends. It's pretty cool. can hike Mount Fuji. I'm wondering if those are the parking lots down there where you would start your hike. Not sure. Hopefully we can gain enough altitude to go ahead and get around here. If not, we'll go ahead and peel off to the left. I think we got it. I am still considering doing a mission style series. If you guys have any interest in that, let me know. We would do some search and rescue, that type of stuff. Let's jump outside and have a look. Pretty cool. Go and see if we pick up some speed here. It's obviously a pretty big mountain. If you made it this far, I do appreciate you guys. I know it has been a little bit longer of a flight. Once we loop back around this side, we'll go ahead and bring it in for a nice landing. Go ahead and take a peek at our map here. So just about straight ahead of us should be our airport where we're going to come in for a landing. Let's see if it shows up in our marker. Yep. Just over this ridge. Got about 6 nautical miles. Alright guys, now that we are safely back on the ground, that's going to be it for this flight. I know it's a bit of a long one. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. I want to thank everyone for watching regardless of how long you were here. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment on where you'd like to see me fly next. I'll see you in the next one.